All right. Hello and welcome to the Snowbirds meeting room. I'm Shadow Spectre 11, and today I'm going to be going over the Idris video from ISC and also going to be going over the event of the week, Jumptown, and the Jumpoint magazine that has the Idris deck layout plans. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and kick it over. And here we go.
Roger that, Flight Club. Good.
All right. So, starting off with Jumptown. This is Jumptown 2.1 that jumped off patch 2016 and 2017. So there are new locations and different appearances, different experiences. There's more up-to-date locations such as Raven's Roost, Paradise Cove, and Echo Isle. Then you get the SEA shaved. What's up? You get the drugs, and you can take them out with a multi-tool. And then you can either go on the lawful side, or you can take them all the way to Grim Hex and do it that way. Either way, you accept the mission, you fly to the lab, grab the contraband, seize your chance. Okay, the current prizes of current prices of all of the ships that are there. What's up, Joker? And then you also have the schedule, which we've already started, and today it's already jumped off again. So they're running this every day. Hey, what's up, Redtail? They're doing all of this for 2 weeks. So the 11th, that's when it ends. So we'll go from there, check it out, see what it's like. And then you have your ships and vehicles that are on sale. So quite a few this time. 19 are on sale right now for these. The one thing about these ships, the insurance is low. So if you're going to get one of these ships, I would do an upgrade from a lifetime token and go from there. Then you have your war bond upgrades. So the ballista, the A1. Those are what are on sale right now at this point, which you can do war bond upgrades. So if you click this and you go to see what your upgrade value is, you can go through your ships and see what you have. And then if I say I decided to upgrade my SRV to this one, the insurance would transfer over to it. So you could do it that way. But that's what's going on with this event at this point in time. So the next thing, gonna jump to the next category, and this is the ISC. This was really good. I enjoyed it, and it shows a lot about the information on the Idris, the deck layout, how they did it, and everything like that. So, forgive the commercials when they pop up because they will. Just giving you a heads up. So, here we go.
Last week was our inaugural Idris War Games test, and while that completed earlier this week with many lessons learned, and the ship itself is still awaiting important resource management, maelstrom, multi-crew gameplay work, and more before it'll arrive permanently in the persistent universe, we here at ISC still jumped at the chance to showcase the current artistic progress of the vehicle inside and out, as well as to enlist a few of our oldest friends in providing a sort of director's commentary to the proceedings. Here's how it went.
Just a bit of the cameras. Hi, I'm John Crew. I'm Nick Tearsley, part of the art director for 42 here.
Your new title. I don't even know what I am anymore. Shall I say that? Shall I say that? That'd be good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nate. I've not got a clue what I am anymore.
He's the one.
That'll go down well.
The one beef of the
Should we
week.
do that? Yeah.
Get it
Some
in early.
days I'm this, other days I'm that.
What do you want to be today, Nick?
I don't know what I want to be today. What should I be today? Yeah, I was the art director for the thing. There you go.
Do you want me to go first?
You can be my bloody guest, mate.
Okay. Hi, my name's John Crew. I'm the vehicle art director.
Hi, my name's Nate. I was the vehicle art director.
We've been asked today to give you a little director's commentary over the Idris that you will have seen in the PU being fought over recently.
Minecraft is an incredible
I knew it.
game that has changed the
I knew
generation
it.
of gamers.
Here we go.
Truly a lightning in a bottle situation.
Right, so the exterior, this has had quite a few iterations over time in terms of not the shape stayed the same, but how like the breakup, the materials on it,
Yeah,
the engine the thrusters of.
Yeah, the shapes remain pretty true. We did make amendments to the exterior to fit the interior in because the number of spaces that we needed for Squadron sort of slowly increased. So it's a very tightly packed capital ship.
If you look at the original concept, it was quite a thin ship as well.
Yeah.
It just couldn't fit everything in it.
I think my favourite feature from the original one was the hilarious flight of stairs that came down in the middle of the flight deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my first fix.
Then we're going to fly into the back of it, which is the way most players should normally enter the Idris.
I gotta say, I cannot wait to get on that ship. I want to check it out. I want to get in there so bad. And during the event, Magic was able to get on the server, and I tried to get on there, and it was so bad that it 30K'd. That's how bad it was. Oh well, try it again.
You can go in the front, but that'll be a bit.
It's getting dark now, John.
So there we got. In Squadron, there is space for 2 Gladiuses, Gladii, and there's a space for the Argo and PV at the back, but you can technically fit 3 ships in here.
Yeah, when you first land, you'll sort of notice that the exits for the hangar are generally sort of at a lower level. One of the things we do a lot of throughout the ship actually is just slight changes in elevation, even though you're on the same deck. And the general layout is fairly symmetrical, I would say. The ship, when it was first put together, was really sort of, I would say, designed from the inside out. So there was a lot of amendments on the exterior to make the interior, interior to me is always king.
That's an impressive view right there. I missed this when I first watched this. That's nice.
We spent a lot longer on the interior of the ship, so we sculpted the exterior skin around that. If you were to hide that exterior, I mean, there is no breathing room. It is like a bit of an engineering masterpiece, to be honest.
This is where the MPUV hangs from the ceiling.
Skydiving also.
Yeah, I've watched many people accidentally fall out the bottom of the Idris in atmosphere out that hole. So don't do that.
Or if you want to recreate the alien dropship scene, it's pretty cool. The gravity room, which was originally upstairs. We had to shift things around through the process again, taking inspiration from, you know, real-world scientific areas. That whole room actually closes into its own cylinder. You have to sort of open the door to sort of get in, and you can close it behind you. It's quite a trip. And for all intents and purposes, unless you're going to your bunk or you're going to very specific areas like the briefing room or the gravity room, which you've just seen there are no dead ends. It was put together when I was on the ship and originally sort of designed it. It was very much sort of focused around multiplayer combat at the time, and you know, a good multiplayer map is you've always got options. You've always got at least 2 options at every corridor, every room.
You're constantly flowing around it.
No dead end. So yeah, as you can see.
I actually had a bug this morning come through about the writing on the wall being shorthand.
Oh dear.
So it's spelt incorrectly.
Oh.
I was like, no, it's not. It's an intentional choice.
Yeah.
So we've got the ATC room, which overlooks the hangar, which is obviously very useful for being an ATC. We'll come back later to the other side to see what's in there. There's a lot of decks to the Idris.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the sub-deck in the Argo, which you'd have seen, or the utility vehicle, I should call it. You've got your main deck. This is the sort of the main symmetrical area, and then through the heart, I would say the centre of that sort of floor pan is all of the, I would say, business side of the room. So obviously you've got your mess hall here.
It's a chow line. Don't talk about the chow line. It's
I hear roast lamb is still on special.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an inside joke, but.
If you're a web designer, or Wix Studio features, you gotta know.
Sleeping quarters.
This is for your general crew for the ship. The bunks have shutters on them for a bit more privacy.
With inbuilt home entertainment system.
So this is 2 mirrored, I guess, solo cabins. The pilots get their own little area at the end.
Which are about to get a little bit bigger, but you didn't hear that from me.
So the version that you're seeing here is taken from a point in time on Squadron recently, but there are lots of little tweaks that we'll talk about in the future to deliver more of the Idris. One of them, the missile room, is a big one that's still to come that is not available here at this time. But there's, like Nate said, lots of other little tweaks as we get closer to shipping Squadron that we'll be making.
Again, inspirations with regards to archetype for Aegis. You can see there's a strong inspiration from some of my favourite 1980s movies through here. I like to see, material breakup, introduce textures, leather where we can do to make it feel a bit softer and more inviting, as a good habitational area should be. And it's different for different ships, right? But when you're designing a capital ship, it kind of needs to tick all of the boxes. From a putting the ship together point of view, everything is modular. So you'll notice probably in the PU now a lot of these elements are reused in some of the Aegis ships, simply because, we try and put the ships together in a modular fashion. And the bigger the ship gets, the more modular it needs to be. You really want to avoid doing too much unique stuff because it will hammer your video memory.
That's for sure. The one thing about that is they're constantly using assets. So, as we know, the Polaris is coming. So, once they get all the assets completed for that ship, then they're going to take assets from that ship and put them in another ship and maybe size them down a bit so it makes it easier to build the ship. So, from what we remember, what I remember, is the Polaris, the Galaxy, and then the Perseus. So, the Polaris was the biggest out of the bunch, the largest. So they decided to make that one first, knock it out, then go to the Galaxy, which is pretty much the same design, almost. It does have its differences, and then onto the Perseus. So we'll see.
Because this was I would say it's the first capital ship we done. It is the first, isn't it? Yeah, and it was really sort of, genesis of, this was put into production actually around the same time as the Retaliator, many years ago. And it was at that time that we started to establish, a really good understanding of how we want habitational areas to feel and look, feeling being a prominent feature. Engineering, again, completely different. You got the technology side of it and the medical side of it. So they became the sort of like 4 style guides, I would say, that became the springboard for a lot of the other ships to sort of follow on from.
Yeah, you see a lot of similar stuff in the Hammerhead, which actually uses a lot of the Idris kit as well. And different areas have their different technical feeling.
You'll notice here when you come in through the centre of the med bay, for example, there are very little right angles. When you look at the floor plan, for example, it generally dollies off at 45-degree angles or 60-degree angles. I don't like right angles in floor plans. Things need to flow, as you can see there. You're going to get a right angle when you come out of a door. There's not much you can do about that. But yeah, and it's all interweaved. You'll notice there's lots of windows that look outside. There's lots of windows that look back into the hangar. So we're not doing any cheating. Escape pods here.
Yeah, right at the front of the ship now. So this is the manned turret at the front, the big one up top. And then lots of escape pods here for everyone that's in the sort of upper front half.
Shave, did you get on the Javelin when it docked at one of the stations? Were you able to take the tour on it? You were able to get in one of the turrets and stuff like that. It was cool. It was cool.
If things go sideways and you need to get off the ship.
Whether you want to increase sales, generate leads, or build brand awareness, Google Ads.
Going back down.
You were never able to
starboard
do
side,
that?
the head of port and starboard.
Invictus,
Yeah, interesting
we're
you mentioned that,
going
John,
to
navigation has been a little bit of an issue.
get you
So
on
these
there.
corridors that you're running around at the moment,
You can actually tour part of the
in the future.
the
So you have a
Javelin.
much better
It's pretty
understanding
slick.
of whether you're going forwards or backwards or whether you're on the left or the right. Worth noting as well, like all the spaces that you're seeing are completely undressed. There are, tens of thousands of entities that end up on top of what you're seeing for Squadron because it needs to feel more lived in, it needs to tell that story. So it's kind of bare bones seeing it this way, which is kind of strange for me at the moment.
Yeah, it was very strange when we were getting this ready for the PU to take off all those layers and sort of see it in a state that we've not seen.
Plus also we're not seeing it with NPCs.
Yeah.
When you see this with NPCs and, people walking around carrying out their duties, engineers doing their things at panels or whatnot, it feels lived in, it feels alive. But, hopefully when it goes into the PU, there'll be plenty of people running around anyway, which will make it feel very similar for you guys.
Hamster balls.
You want to get buff? Go to the gym.
I don't know what we had there originally opposite the ATC. Was it? It was the pilot.
It was the pilot ready area, but we moved the pilot ready area down to the same level as the hangar so you can get your gear, scramble out as quickly as possible rather than getting your gear,
Run down a flight of stairs.
falling down 2 flights of stairs, and then sort of hobbling into your ship with a broken ankle.
Then going further back. We're sort of halfway, 3/4 of the way back.
Yeah, you got your sort of, I think.
The crossover point here.
Yeah, you got 2 crossover points on the hangar. Now you're going to sort of come through, and this is where a lot of the asymmetry comes in, although the footprint is sort of similar. You'll come through. On one side, you've got Brig, which is where all the naughty people go, and we have a lot of naughty people in the game. There's a security office in there, and on the opposite side of that is, basically the opposite side of the ship, is the armory, which you'll see in a little bit.
Big escape pods, so big shared ones rather than individual pods. You might have seen, as we've gone around, some big red signposted rooms. They, I believe, have EVA airlocks in them, as well as sort of maintenance storage areas, so all signposted so you know in a hurry where to go. Then the main briefing room.
Main briefing room, again, integral to Squadron. This is where you're going to get your mission briefings and so on. It's a big ship.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Like I say, there's a lot crammed in.
Yeah.
Now we're in the opposite side to where the brig was. So this is the armory and shooting range.
Quite a bit of inspiration from RoboCop. Yeah, as you can probably all tell, I'm a bit of an 80s buff when it comes to the movies. When I had to do things for real, actually build things, it visually makes quite a big difference to me as a visual kind of guy.
That firing range area is another one of the areas that has changed around a bit over time, because it was an all-in-one.
I think it was on the other side as well.
Yeah.
I think we flipped it, and then we got into the logistics of, you know, what happens if you take your gun away from there? What's going to happen to you as a player? So there was, you know, you're not supposed to walk around a military ship with a firearm in your hand, basically. So yeah, lots of minor changes there, more for the social experience.
So this is above the rear of the hangar, not all the way at the back, because it has two lifts that go down to, or one lift that goes down to the... Two?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
one each side.
there's one each side that connects with the hangar, so if you're bringing in supplies or getting ready to go out on a long journey into the depths of space, you can, you know, utility vehicle drops the cargo off and you can load up pretty efficiently. Decontamination area before you get into what would be the engine room.
Very different feeling, like we talked about, compared to the rest of the ship.
Yeah, it's the thing with Aegis, we sort of looked at a lot of real-world scientific, I would say, you know, hydrogen colliders, nuclear reactors. CERN was a big sort of inspiration with a lot of the paneling and general sort of feel. And that's continued in the Gauntlet and a lot of the other Aegis ships that you'll see.
And then there's you will have seen them dotted around in all the corridors, but there's a lot of wall panels that hold all the components. So whilst we do have some big capital size components like in the engine room, there's a lot of sort of secondary redundancy with all these extra wall panels dotted around. So if one area of the ship goes down, it's not completely scuppered. You can still route power around.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing in the original design document, John, where if life support systems went down on the rear of the ship, there's actually sort of like large bulkheads that close that section of the ship off, so the rest of the ship can survive. So again, you know, thinking about sort of multiplayer aspect, if you were to try and ambush one of these things, I think there's going to be quite a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah, those bulkheads, I think you probably will have seen some of them in the corridors, as we watch big yellow...
Orange.
Yellowy orange.
Yellowy orange, okay. The layout as well, the engine room, you'll notice, is pretty much, if you were boarding the ship from the hangar, pretty much the most well-protected room of the ship. Again, with that multiplayer feeling in mind. I think going off, do you remember Titan mode? Squadron, not Squadron, Battlefield.
Yeah.
Really just trying to create this sort of layer upon layer until you get to the engine room to make that quite difficult to ultimately disable the ship.
Like we talked about, there's a lot of flow in the interior, but there are those areas that have very distinct choke points to get to. Like the bridge is one, whilst there is multiple ways to get there, they're quite well defendable, and then the engine room is the other. So those are two areas you really don't want people get into uninvited.
Yeah.
There's a few ways you can go up to the bridge. There's obviously this lift, but there is also a set of staircases either side. So So you have these sort of tactical stations at the back, flanking each side, down on a lower level from the main bridge area.
I think I would say most proud of on the bridge. There's been a lot of rework done, but you'll notice here the view out is pretty spectacular. Removed what would be the cross frame, which went across the front of the ship, so you got completely unobstructed views out to space. But it still feels chunky and weighty, which it needs to, which is a success.
So that was a little bit of a director's commentary on the Idris, which hopefully you'll have seen and experienced as part of the event that's been going on in the Persistent universe recently.
No, we did not.
And as great as the ship looks in the video and the event, there's still quite a bit of work to do before we can give it to players to have for real. Things like resource network, multi-crew gameplay, all these things that make it an actual living, breathing capital ship that you want to run and own. That's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, to echo what John said, I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Still a ways to go with regards to sort of delivering, the ship as a whole for the PU. But I just want to give a shout out to all the teams that have been involved in working on it. I mean, the list is endless. Artists, designers, concept artists, lighting crew, social design, level design. I mean, it's huge. There is literally hundreds of people involved in delivering such an asset to yourselves, and we really hope with the limited time that you get it, that you really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's people at the company that haven't touched it in some way or form over the years. Yeah. It's such a big part of the experience.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the Idris is a delight to behold inside and out, that it's benefited and continues to do so from years of iteration in Squadron 42, that there's still lots to be done beyond the currently fantastic art to bring the gameplay to it that it and its owners deserve, and that when all that is said and done, this is going to be one heck of an addition to the Persistent universe. For Inside Jared Huckabee...
Jared.
Oh no. Is this the ship you've been looking for?
Okay. I thought that was a really good ISC. I enjoyed watching it the first time. Like I said, I missed the strip away the first time I watched it, but that is awesome. But anyway, so next thing I was going to jump on, that was really cool to see everything inside that ship. So this is the Jumpoint magazine that came out on Friday, and they're going to talk about some of the Project Darkwater, which was the F8 event. And as you know, they sold the ship, and then during the event you could get the Idris if you had to get a golden ticket. If you got the platinum ticket, you got the ship for free, but you had to take it away from a developer. If you got a golden ticket, you had the option to buy it. So it was a good event. I think it was more accessible than trying to capture the Idris. I don't know. I didn't see any of the F8s flying with the devs flying it. So I ended up getting a golden ticket thanks to Radium, Jose, and then everybody, we all got together and we started getting the golden tickets for everybody who wanted to try the F8, hop in it, fly it, and see what was going on with it. And it was fun. It was a fun event. I just wish I could have got to the Idris one, but anyway. So these are all the people that were involved with Project Dark Water, as they called it, and stuff like that. And these are the specifications of the F8. Now, this is the virtual tour of the Idris, the cutaway of the ship. So you've got your bridge, and those are some of the concept art pictures. Hopefully these are actual pictures of what is inside the ship. And then you go to the mid deck. Now they're showing escape pods, okay? And escape pods here. That's not a lot of escape pods for a ship this size. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. This ship has a lot of space, rooms, brief room, cargo deck. This is the mid deck. Okay. Captain's quarter, executive officers' quarters. All this stuff. Pilot quarters. Interesting. So there's some pictures of it. Different areas in the ship. I think this is cool. I wanted to get on that ship so bad. I just wanted to get on it, try it out. So we go to the upper hangar. And this is the control room. Now this is different. Control room. It's the ATC, and supposedly the gym is around here. Maybe. Here we go. On the hangar deck. It says 2 Gladiuses. I saw 3 in there. Interesting. So you got your gravity room. And where the Argo hangar is. And it's pretty much it on that. The ISC was a little bit more thorough as far as I'm concerned. Moving around and checking it out and actually able to view in someone's eyes what you were seeing. So then you also have behind the scenes of the Sulin. And look at all the different variations of this ship. Wow. It was pretty interesting to see this. There's the Sulin. That's how big that thing is. This one should be the Raylan, I think. Oh, okay. These are still shots of it. Wow. This is pretty interesting. I'm going to have to read this a bit more thoroughly. But it's got some pretty cool stuff in it for this. Main wings, secondary wings, cargo holder, door, retrocessors, S3 weapons. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at this a bit more intensely. God, I love the artwork on this ship. It's so cool. But anyway, and the different colors. Beautiful ship. Beautiful ship. But that's it for this Snowbirds meeting room. This was a quick one to go over the ISC and the deck plans of the Idris. And I hope that you all enjoyed it. There will be no stream today of SC. And take a little break, and I will be posting the new schedule later today or early tomorrow morning on what I will be up to and what things I will be setting up. And next weekend, I will be holding an event and go from there. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Take it easy. Have a wonderful Sunday. And it's Shadow Spectre 11. And I will see you all next Sunday. Take care on the Snowbirds Meeting Room. Have a good one.